We're back.
Hey.
I mean to say we're back.
Hello.
It feels like we've had a break. We're not. We're just on a bi-weekly schedule. Welcome. I need to talk for 2 minutes so that everyone can get past the adverts and so that Com can do the thing before I introduce everyone. So, just gonna ramble to myself. Yada 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 thingy. That will probably be clipped if it comes up. Ooh. Hello. How's everyone's
Hi.
week been?
Acceptable.
Acceptable.
Okay, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it's been a week.
Lovely. Yeah, I mean,
I've
a
had
week.
play practice.
A week it has been. A week it has definitely been. I can feel a burp coming.
Wait.
Right, so,
See.
welcome to this week's episode of the Soul Studios podcast. I'm Flower, or SpaceFlower. Yeah, that's my name. We are
Wow,
here with
thank you.
Whoa.
we are here with a first-time friend who is Charity. You want to say hello?
What? Hello.
I just mean that you haven't been here before.
Yes, I have though.
Have you?
Yeah, I was
that's
on the
awkward.
first Australian thing. I'm pretty sure.
Whoops. Well, it's been a while,
Uh-oh.
and I mean, oh, yeah, it's
All
been
I
a long
remember
time.
is we talked a lot about raccoons and trash cans during One Word Story.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that was really back in the old days. Well, welcome back.
Yeah.
We're on phase 2
Right.
now, where everything is totally a lot more professional. Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't belong here.
I hope you guys
Oh.
will agree with that. So,
Possibly.
welcome to Charity. Charity is the Jupiter voice actor, I believe. If I've got that wrong, Com can stab me again. But, and she will be our guest, in quotation marks, this week, as we will be talking about Jupiter. So look forward to that in a little while. Then welcome back to Pons
Hi.
and
I made it this
Rabbit
time.
Hello there.
and Pecan
Yep.
and Scrub. Lord.
Hello, friends.
Hello. So, hopefully this week, as according to the visitors we have here, we will be talking a little bit about music, a little bit about Jupiter, and revisiting the name origin segment, since that was very, very popular, and perhaps even some general origin stories of how we got here as well. So that's the rough overview for this week. But first to the news. Has anybody read the news this week, science-wise? Because there's been a few exciting things.
I saw a
I should
Facebook
have.
post.
I'll
Science
take
has
that
happened.
as a no. To start
Pluto's
with,
a planet
I
again?
don't know if this was this week, but I saw a Facebook post that Pluto is a planet again, and that's all
yeah,
I saw.
that was going around a couple of weeks ago. The gist of it that
Okay.
I got was that basically a team of scientists who liked Pluto sat down and were like, we're going to get to dedicate the next 2 years to finding the tiniest discrepancy in the fact that Pluto is not a planet and therefore overthrow it. And they basically traced the physics all the way back to like the 1810 or something, and were like, ha, this tiny bit of their theory is now disproved, therefore everything is disproved, which is sort of valid but sort of not. So it is an interesting read, and it is more of a kind of, wow, shock horror, Pluto's a planet again, question mark, but I think it could
Hey, so our PV has the right name then.
so it could cause a little bit more of a ripple, so all you Pluto fans out there can definitely rejoice.
And
Hooray.
interestingly enough,
Hooray.
it also means
Yay.
that Ceres is a planet too.
Ooh,
Yay.
Oh.
to the single Keras fan in the team. So, in
Ceres is
other
a planet.
space news this week, SpaceX, our favourite friends, I'm sure they love us and the amount of emails we send them. Okay, SpaceX this week has announced that they actually signed their first commercial pilot to go into space, to go around the moon. So,
I remember hearing about this, right?
Ooh.
they haven't
That
announced who it
sounds-
is yet, but they have tweeted about it. And they kind of were like, oh, there's going to be a big reveal next week, and you get to meet them and the reason why. So that could be interesting, or it could just be I'm a rich kid and I want to go to the moon. But the plan is, I'm not sure exactly what rocket they will be using, but it is supposed to be a sort of test for their Mars mission, and the plan is not to land on the moon, but to do an Apollo 10 and Apollo 8 and to go round the side. Around the back, I mean, not the side. I mean, the back is a side, right? Okay, let's not get distracted.
It's a sphere. You can't get technical like that.
So yeah,
The moon's totally flat.
SpaceX has announced they have signed their first commercial passenger to fly around the moon. In NASA news, NASA have launched their space laser, which its primary objective is to send tiny bits of light to the Earth at its caps, so that they can very accurately measure from space the amount that the ice caps are melting. So that's kind of a climate change measure, which is quite interesting. So hopefully,
Star Wars program.
I was about to say.
Somebody mentioned Star Wars?
I wonder
no.
how that works.
Oh boy.
I believe it's because in the ice, only at every layer, certain parts of the infrared, I believe it is they're using, will be reflected. And so it's a bit like they use ultrasound or echolocation. Every single layer of the ice, a tiny bit is reflected back. And so therefore on the bottom surface, where the change in density is the greatest between the ice and the water, there'll be a large amount reflected. And so by timing by taking the time of that, they can tell how deep the ice is. So the time between the big reflection from the air to the ice and from the ice to the water.
Isn't science
Physics.
wonderful?
Yeah, science is wonderful. So we can very, very accurately measure how many polar bears we're killing every year.
All of them.
All of them. With
Oh,
the laser.
Unfortunately.
The answer is all.
Not
Yeah.
with the laser, that's not
We
the
shall
point.
destroy them all.
Death Star, here we go.
To kill
And yeah,
all of them.
basically it is a Death Star. We're shooting lasers at the planet.
Fire!
We're just, yeah.
In other kind of strange sci-fi-ish news, some space simulations, which physicists use now, like use big giant computers, and they simulate the entire universe and put some random physics in and see if they can squish it into a ball when they press rewind, which I think is quite funny. But anyway, some people playing around with other aspects of that kind of software have discovered, but it's not really discovery because it's just on a computer program, so it's just a theory, but on a neutron star, a universe theory. So on a neutron star, which is the most dense object in the universe, a very, very, very dense star, they did some simulations on it, and they have discovered this substance which they have dubbed neutron pasta, and it kind of shoots out of their simulated neutron star, and when they did some calculations and stuff on it, it is 10 billion times stronger than steel. So it is the strongest
It's like spider webs.
the strongest matter on the universe coming out from a neutron star.
Covered in
The strongest
spaghetti
matter
sauce.
in the universe is pasta.
Yeah,
I love it.
neutron pasta. If you
The question is, what would happen if you did though?
Those
Oh,
Italians
that
are up
makes-
to something.
your teeth would shatter far before you tried to fight it. But
Your teeth
I don't-
would become
if you-
elongated by the gravity.
if you Google
Hot.
search neutron pasta, it is quite a beautiful diagram to look at. I'm sorry I didn't put it up here. Didn't want to get too copyrighted because it is kind of a cool thing that's right on the up front. And the last piece of space news this week is that India's space agency have announced that they are going to send people into space by 2020. So go
Good
India.
job, India.
You can
You
do
can
it.
do it. We believe
Good
in you.
job.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a
First
we
to
have
pass
a guest.
PewDiePie, now go to space.
Apparently, we have a new.
We have a guest.
Yeah, we have a guest. So check out the list.
Oh gosh. Oh, it's Mr.
Hi.
Nobody. Hello. Have you dropped by
Wait, what?
unwelcome? Anyway, without further ado, we have things to move on to, and those things are quite large. Wait, that's not
Whoa.
Oh, I know it's me!
Oh boy. Okay. This week we're talking about Jupiter, as I mentioned earlier. So,
Yay.
on to Jupiter. Jupiter I will pull up her final-ish design. You guys know the thing by now. This is in Morgan, our lovely artist style. This isn't in the final design of the show. It may change. The uniform may change. This is just our kind of concept. Yeah, you get the drill. But Jupiter is our student council president. She is our resident tool girl. And she is voiced by the lovely voice actor Charity, who has lovingly dropped by especially to come and talk about their character this week. So, my tongue is giving up. Someone else start talking. Who was Rabbit? Did you look up the data stuff?
Yes. So Jupiter is, interestingly enough, just as big compared to Earth as the Sun is compared to Jupiter. So, yeah, that's interesting. Basically, Jupiter is about 10 times the size of the Earth, and the Sun's about 10 times the size of Jupiter as far as diameter goes. It's also so large that it is more than like 2.5 times this mass of the rest of the solar system combined, aside from the Sun, of course. And it orbits in such a way that the very center of Jupiter and the Sun is above the Sun's surface, so it's kind of like Pluto in that aspect, because Pluto's very center with Charon is above Pluto's surface. So basically, the Sun and Jupiter kind of orbit each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe there was a kind of theory or like a prediction that if Jupiter had gained only a little bit more mass, we would be in a binary star system. Because obviously Jupiter was one of the first planets to be formed, and so if it had gained as much mass as the Sun early on, like, I mean, it nearly did, we would be in a binary system, which is quite cool.
Yep, about 75 times the mass would be necessary to fuse hydrogen. Apparently, the smallest red dwarf is only about 30% larger in radius than Jupiter. So, like, Jupiter's almost as big as a star.
Yeah. I mean, even a red dwarf would still be a binary star system. A binary star system, people don't know, is when stars are married and they kind of orbit around each other, and then planets orbit all the way around the outside of them. It's very cute.
That's hot.
There's quite a lot of them. And
You
just
can tell because the word bi is in binary.
Yeah.
Which means two.
Which means
Two
it's
stars.
fast.
Interestingly enough, apparently Jupiter was about twice as large as it was when it first as it is today when it was first formed, and way hotter. But it's cooled off.
Hot.
Cool.
Yeah, there's definitely a joke to be made there.
Yep.
This
So,
is true.
thank you, Robert. Pecan, on to the discovery and early mythology.
All right. So Jupiter, actually, people don't really know when it was first discovered, pinpointed, but they have a prediction. The Babylonians found it around the 7th or 8th century BC. And Jupiter is named after the Roman god Jupiter, who's the big boy, the big god in Roman mythology. And Jupiter is, of course, the counterpart to the Greek god Zeus. And everyone knows who Zeus is.
Yep, Zeus is around fucking everything.
Zappy boy.
Meme jar. Meme jar.
Meme jar.
But yeah, that's about it. It was named after Zeus.
So Jupiter, sorry, just to butt in as a Latin student, Jupiter isn't the Latin name, because the letter J has only existed for the past 300 years, I think. So the it used to be, it would be pronounced Jupiter with an I on the front instead of a J. So if you're talking from Roman mythology terms, the Roman king of the gods is Jupiter, which is fun literary facts. Right.
Now the question is, where did the J come from?
I think you can probably blame that on European scholars, and they were like, all these I's are too confusing. The same with the V. The V wasn't, no, not the V, the W. W? W. Those were kind of, because they realised that the both the I and the V had way too many uses. So, like, the V was used as both a the and a w in many ancient languages, and the same with an I was a y and an I. So then they kind of separated them into two letters to make it easier for people, which is very, very nice of them, I think. Pons, you have some stormy stuff.
Okay, so the big red spot on Jupiter is pretty weird because it was originally... So humans originally pretty much observed it in 1830, but observations go back as far as 1665 to where it was kind of shown, but it's not really quite sure. So this is a storm that could have been lasting for like 350 years. It's also 1.3 times the size of Earth. So, oof? Question mark? It's not always red. Sometimes it changes color from like a salmon to disappearing entirely, and you can only see it because it's super goddamn hot, and it's just not there. Yes. And yeah, it's pretty weird.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Then finally, well, not finally, but finally for the research, onto you, Scrub.
Hello.
With the missions breakdown.
All right. So there have been a few of them, a handful, I guess. So a quick rundown. There was Pioneer 10 in 1973, Pioneer 11 in 74, Voyager 1 in 79, Voyager 2 in 79 as well. Galileo started in 1995. I've just been told that my volume is really low, so I don't know if you guys are getting that too, but I've just been...
Oh, I can turn you up. That's fine.
Okay. All right, cool.
Bump it up.
All right, and then Ulysses in 1992. Cassini, I want to say Huygens, Huygens, Huygens.
Huygens.
I'm not going to say Huygens. Okay,
Huygens.
Okay, sure. New Horizons in 2007, Juno in 2016, and then there's also Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer planned for 2022, which is also, it's an acronym, JUICE. They completely left out the M in moons. They like tried really hard to make it juice, right? Like the JU from Jupiter, IC from Icy, Moons is like not included in there at all, and then E from Explorer. Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer is juice. I guess they're having a fun time, I suppose.
Juice.
They were drinking juice.
And then the Europa Clipper planned for that's planned for 2022, juices, and then 2025 is the Europa Clipper. So Pioneer 10 was the first one, right? It just kind of did a flyby, and right now it's just kind of flying out of the solar system. Just it's lonely. Pioneer 11 followed in 73. That one was also just a flyby. That one is going towards the center of the galaxy. That one we can't contact it anymore, so it's like Pioneer 10, but not with it. They're both just sad. There's Voyager 1 in 79. Voyager 1 was also a flyby. That one is also on its way out of the solar. It's really depressing, actually, now that I'm reading it out loud. Now that I'm like saying it, it's like, well, like the whole point was you're going to gather data, send it back, and just disappear. And kind of sad. I feel bad for them. I think Voyager 1 gets a head pat after this. Voyager 2 in 79 was also a flyby, got some data, sent it back, and now it's just on its way out. Galileo was the first one, not as a flyby, but sent to orbit. So it went around. Galileo's, so it orbited, got some data while it was going, launched in 1989, it looks like. And it arrived to orbit in 1995. It studied Jupiter until 2003, and this is even more depressing, actually. Humans, or NASA, I suppose, didn't want to contaminate the moons with bacteria, so Galileo was sent to crash into Jupiter's surface. So it kamikaze, basically.
At least it was for a good cause.
It was
died for the glory of the Emperor.
Godspeed, Galileo, Godspeed. Ulysses was launched in 1990. Also meant, this is actually a gravity assist, right? So they flung it and used Jupiter's gravity to kind of fling it back. But the gravity assist, obviously, so it swung around Jupiter and now it's on its way out of the solar system. Cassini Wait, we said this like 30 seconds ago, and I'm not
Huygens.
going to bother. Huygens, there we go. I appreciate it. So this one was also a gravity assist. So let's see. It was actually a set of 2 probes, the Cassini one and the Huygens one. The Cassini one ends up orbiting Saturn, right? So that one is still kind of stuck around Saturn. Huygens fell into Saturn's moon Titan in 2005. Let's see, New Horizons, which was in 2007, was another gravity assist. So it kind of flew by, swung around for a period of about 5 months, got some data. Then there was Juno, which is the most recently sent one, sent in 2016, is when it arrived in orbit. So that one is kind of swinging around Jupiter, sending us data as we speak. Eventually, it'll probably be sent. If I had to guess, that's what Galileo was sent in orbit, and in fear of contaminating the moons, they sent it down. So hopefully, Juno doesn't have as grave of a fate in store, but unfortunately, that might be the case. And then obviously, we've got Juice.
I'm excited for Juice.
Right. So Juice is coming about in 4 months, and then the Europa Clipper, or not 4 years, and then Europa Clipper in 2025 3 years after that.
If I may add some little things. Sorry. So the Galileo was named obviously after the astronomer Galileo, and that's because he discovered the first 4 of Jupiter's moons when he made his own telescopes and such. And then it's actually quite fitting that Galileo crashed into Jupiter to save those moons, because so the reason why they are so worried about the contamination of bacteria is, and the reason why they're sending Juice and the other probes to actually look at Europa, Io, Ganymede, Callisto, the other big moons around Jupiter, is because Europa itself has been confirmed to have liquid ocean under its surface. We're back.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh,
hello.
you're
back.
Apologies,
You guys got cut out.
my
The
internet
broadcast
just
went down.
yeah, my internet
the
just
broadcast went
connect.
down too.
It should have reconnected. I'll continue with what I was saying. Probably like 30 seconds or so. Com can edit it out or something. Europa has a liquid ocean underneath it, and so they are expecting, if not, well, really hoping to find bacteria on it. So it would be absolutely really stupid if they managed to get some bacteria on Earth on one of the moons where they're actively looking for bacteria. So then they're going to send Juice in a couple of years' time. But, I mean, Galileo wasn't the only probe that died by crashing into its planet, because Cassini died the same way in last summer by crashing into Saturn. And at the moment, Juno is probably the main probe doing all the fancy work around the solar system now. New Horizons has gone on way past Pluto. So if you want to follow Juno's progress, that right now it's one of the most active probes. So it's super interesting. There's loads of documentaries to look up about it. One of my favourite quotes from a documentary I saw recently about Juno was they literally opened with the tagline of "Everything on Jupiter is stupidly massive and stupid." I was like, great, I'm watching this program. Perfect.
It sounds like it's another Big Planet documentary style.
It was quite funny. They started off by trying to like display to the layman the size of Jupiter, and they got like a rock, and they're like, this is Mercury, and then built up to bigger and bigger rocks, and then they dumped a pile out of a dump truck, and they're like, this is Saturn, and they're like, I bet you're wondering where Jupiter is. Jupiter is the truck. And it was which was quite funny. But yeah, so Juno, great probe to follow before the flare, the sun one goes up, whatever it's called, I've forgotten. Yeah, I hope we've reconnected nicely. Can someone check?
Cool.
Yeah, we reconnected?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
okay.
I believe so.
Awesome. So, thank
also,
you.
hello everybody. Sorry I'm late.
Oh yeah, hello Link.
Hello, Link.
I'm sure all of you know Link. Link was too busy having a haircut to come and join us.
No, actually, it wasn't a haircut. It was my parents.
He deleted our connection.
Same thing.
I did
Link,
not
did you
delete
do
the
any
connection.
research?
I mean, you show up and Flower disconnects.
Yeah, I
Sadly,
mean,
no. I think I just joined in right at the perfect time because I have left. I just joined in right. after all
Coincidence? I
that.
think not.
episode 19, Link
Suspicious.
sabotages version.
Not the first time that would have happened.
Oof.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Anyways,
as Com is not here, and we dearly miss him.
Anarchy.
No, not anarchy.
Chaos.
It just means that Flower has to attempt to interpret his writings.
no. Just have Pecan and me do it because we managed to pull that off at the team meeting last night.
Oh,
No,
the-
Rook had to join in and fix
I mean,
it.
the character documents, are a lore unto themselves. I mean, I've been through them like 6 times, and I still don't really understand them. Like I've reworded it, and I still don't understand. But I will attempt to talk you through. No, it's
Do you want me
okay.
to give it a shot?
I'm cool. I know this character. I practically wrote her with D-pad on one
Should
very
let the
strange night.
Americans.
So, this is Jupiter concept art that I have put up on the screen now. Jupiter was actually one of the very early planets that we designed. So you could see that everybody definitely wanted to put a red spot into her design. The most left one is from D-pad, aforementioned. The one in the middle is from Kata, who I'm sure you all know. And the one on the right, I believe, is a Doodling Neko design, although you can correct me if I'm wrong. So, I don't know why my voice has gone very posh now, but it has.
You're discussing official documents.
So, Jupiter, as I've said before, is our student council president. She is an Oni-san. Is that Oni-san? I can't say it with...
That's what it
I was going to
says.
say, I cannot say it without putting it in like a lolly accent, so I won't. And Oni-san. Oni-san.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I did it. That's going to get clipped, whatever. So, an Ane-san style character who is affectionate and friendly towards the other students, and she treats them all as her younger siblings. Although, that doesn't necessarily mean that she treats them gently. So, she and Saturn, who we've talked about before in the show, are twins, with Saturn being the younger one, as Jupiter is the older and bigger planet. And Jupiter likes to joke around and be merry, and she constantly teases Saturn. She is the undisputed master of the classroom. So, obviously, she's the biggest. She's the king of the gods. She's whatever. So, and her and Saturn have a very, very close relationship as twins. We're not going to get into twincest, please.
They will.
So they run.
We don't have to.
I think we just did.
That's a no.
Shh.
We'll save it for
Order.
afterwards.
Order.
It's canon.
It's not canon.
Pluper is canon. Pluper is canon. Pluper is canon.
Fuck
Not
Flooper.
canon yet.
Order in the court.
Is that like actually a thing, or is it just?
No.
Pluper.
Yes.
Pluper.
Rabbit, please, I will mute you. Come on. I need to do this. I see. So Jupiter is normally very nice and friendly like a school idol, and this has made her very popular at school and in the community. And Jupiter rode this popularity right into a student council position in her first year of high school, and then the president's position in her second year. So Jupiter is a very effective president and is very well respected by the school staff as well as the students. She's affectionate with friends and takes her role very, very seriously. So we do have quite a few jokes in the team, mainly from me and D-pad originally, that Jupiter is all smiley, she's all kind, she's all caring, but if someone breaks the rules, you've had it. And so I feel like there is a lot of comedy to be had to this character that we can't necessarily share right now, because a lot of it comes from this big ideas document of random sketches and skits and jokes that we have. But I can say
she's going to be one of the funniest characters, definitely.
she is going to be very funny. There's going to be quite a lot of slapstick comedy around her with chasing people and perhaps some JoJo style art. So think
Lots of plot involved.
So much plot.
think JoJo style battles and Nichijiro style art.
Oh no.
Saturn summons his stand. Jupiter.
So Jupiter and Saturn have a kind of relationship that Saturn keeps the books, he has the legislation, he does all the organising, because Jupiter's, although lovely and quite responsible, she's a little bit unorganised. So Jupiter keeps her organised, keeps the diary, they know where they're going, they go to the meetings, they do this and do that. And Jupiter's kind of like the sweet but strict face of all of the student council president operations. Other than the student council, Jupiter has done martial arts outside of school. And again, a bit like Saturn, her natural rival / enemy in the show is NASA, because he is constantly breaking school rules and his collection of data is constantly causing problems for the school and its students. However, as much as she chases after him and tries to get his clubs disbanded, she cannot.
Oh.
Tis a dream far gone.
It gives the show plot.
And
Don't go aw.
Oh, she gives the show plot.
No, yeah, Jupiter definitely gives a show plot. Yeah.
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 Hey, I get you.
And Com has also written that in her free time, Jupiter also likes to watch shows on the internet, hang out with her friends, and ensure that NASA isn't doing anything she doesn't approve of, which he usually is.
I wonder if she watches the Earth Chan anime.
Oh, I hope so.
No, it's not out yet.
She's anticipating it.
What
She
Earth
can't
Chan
wait.
anime?
She's
I don't
hyping
think
it
they've
up.
named it.
Oh.
We still haven't, have we?
No, we
No.
haven't.
We have not.
We
It'll
have
get
to
a
keep
name at
that
some point.
joke going, though. Anyway, after high school, Jupiter will be going on to university, along with Saturn, and she plans on studying business or law, but doesn't really know what she wants to do for a job yet. So that's Jupiter as a character. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the art. I will put the official one back up now, as we move on to our voice actor interview. So, I will start off by introducing Charity, though I have been told that you've met them before, and my memory is absolutely terrible, and I am tired, so please do forgive me. So, Charity, do you want to say a few words about yourself to start with?
Sorry, that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting you to open it. I was expecting you to just open it
I told you to
question me
be
like
ready to
that.
interview. You should have done a practice. No.
Journalism class didn't prepare me.
You thought
It's
you
not
were
like journalism
doing
prepares you for
interviews.
myself, though.
I'm the owner of the amazing meme Sonic, the guinea pig.
Our
On
greatest
the
supporter
server.
on the channel outside
yes.
of Flower's grandmother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Hi,
swear
Grandma.
he writes all the comments on YouTube videos. I swear.
I think he's been featured. His questions have been featured in update videos. Haven't
It
they?
was.
Oh, yeah, plenty of them. Yeah.
Sonic the guinea pig.
Yeah.
Sonic
Yeah,
the
I
guinea
think
pig.
that's a pretty good introduction for yourself. So,
Do we have that photo that you gave of Sonic with the Earth Chan hair? Because I believe you did that Photoshop at one point.
I think you mean the Canon Earth Chan design.
I can
Oh,
send it
yes,
to SpaceFlower. I have it.
Yes. Can
You know
can we
what,
get that
that-
up on the podcast,
I am
please?
working on an Earth Chan cosplay, and that is going to be absolutely impossible to do, to dress up as a guinea pig. Anyway, so
Don't say furry.
Challenge
Is that a
accepted.
challenge?
on to the hopefully
Oh,
slightly
okay.
easier questions for you to answer. So, first of all, what is your favourite thing about your character or playing your character?
Probably the fact that it's like a twin, or it has like siblings.
So
that
you
are
like
canon.
you like the kind of dynamic, especially because obviously you and Pons are very good friends.
Oh yeah. I believe the first thing I ever said to Hans was, "Hey, we're siblings."
That I can agree. This was the first thing that was DMs to me.
Oh my gosh. No, like you said, like you're really good friends with Punch. You're like, oh yeah, and it's like it felt like it was oozing with sarcasm here. You're like, oh yeah, like, I love Punch.
Erotic passion.
Oh my
No.
god. Like
To incest.
Yes, please
Stop.
bring that up. Please bring that up.
Yes.
If you want to briefly do it now, go ahead.
Yes.
Jupiter?
Okay, it's
Yeah.
canon.
Yeah,
It's not canon.
It is
not.
100% canon.
It's not canon yet, as far as
Yet.
we know.
The
Yes.
episode like 2.
Uh,
Episode 17.
they,
Uh,
I'm
no.
sure you can guess where that kind of joke comes from. I'm just bringing Sonic onto screen now.
I sent you the photo.
Yeah, there is Sonic the Earth-chan. What
There
a
he is.
Sonic the
beautiful...
Hedgehog.
You in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. That's no good.
He's the biggest fan of the anime.
Outside of Flower's grandma. Like, I don't think anyone can top Flower's grandma.
Oh, yeah.
I do want to sneak a cameo for my grandma, and maybe she can be like one of the really old teachers or something. That would be sweet. Anyway, Charity. That's your name, right? Oh gosh, I am so tired. Charity. Is there anything that you don't like about your character, or that you didn't like whilst it was being made? Like, if you were watching the art, is there certain parts that you don't like about that?
I don't really think there was ever anything I disliked. I guess the weirdest part, I don't even know if I can say this, but like when people were doing all the Jupa-Nazi art.
In class.
I loved it, but at the same time I was like, this is a lot of really weird irony.
So if I can just quickly explain, the origin of that joke is we quickly decided that we wanted Jupiter's character design to have a red student council band, and people very quickly likened that to the kind of red
it's
swastika
band
on a Nazi
uniform. If you didn't grow up in Japan where they were common, it is kind of difficult to disassociate it from that. And so some quite offensive art ensued, which we have put behind us, but was a funny joke in the beginning.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's still on my command if you look hard enough.
It's actually still in the official concept art document, but you know.
Yeah. I just thought it was so ironic, but like really awkwardly ironic, because for those of you who don't know, I'm Jewish, and 1 second I'm being.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening.
No, you said you were Jewish. They found you.
Oh no.
Oh
my
dear.
God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
Run!
I don't think that actually happened in World War II.
That was pretty perfectly timed.
It probably did. Oh my gosh. I watched Face the Future for the first time last weekend. You guys should be proud of me. Like, I actually got where that reference came from. I'm growing up in the world. I'm growing up in the world.
Hooray.
So whilst Charity's gone, Saturn, do you want to talk about Jupiter from your point of view?
I'm sorry, I got quickly.
God damn it.
Saturn, your time is up.
I'm curious.
No! I got the one word in that was important.
Good job.
My probably last. I can't remember what my other questions are. I'm literally pulling those out of my head. I forgot to write them down.
How tired are you, Flower?
Not. What gave you that impression? Charity.
There's a cat in here now, so if you hear bells, it's because my cat has a bell on it.
Aww.
Fair enough.
Charity, what kind of things do you do to get in character when you're practicing lines or doing skits and stuff?
It's just a lot of like repetitive reading. So I've obviously written a few scripts, really bad scripts.
We've written a few scripts.
I wrote the other one by myself.
You did.
But whenever I want to get into character, I know like the general pitch that her voice is supposed to be. So one, I have the recordings that I listen to like remember how it sounds so I can imitate it, and then I just read it over and over and over again to get myself consistent.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, recording lines takes a really long time because I have to reread it a whole bunch of times without recording. And then if I don't like how it sounds, I go back and redo it 8 times.
I get you on that. The amount of bloopers that gets sent of me just screaming because I've forgotten how to say a word is quite funny. Or the fact that
it's difficult.
It's always the lines that I rewrote that I then can't say, which makes me feel like an idiot. Anyway, this isn't about me. I thought of another question to ask you. What kind of things do you relate to Jupiter with? Do you think you're similar? Do you think you have a lot of differences?
I think we're kind of similar in like we both tried to be involved in school. I'm not like a president or anything of my school, but like I join a lot of clubs and I work like really hard at making sure everyone in the club is good, and just generally I enjoy school.
Fool.
So that's
Cool. You don't have a twin that you have a crush on? No?
I think
I
now it
don't.
needs to be like brought up because we beat around the bush on it enough.
Yes.
Please enlighten us, Charity. Go ahead.
I'm so confused. I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about.
The princess grab.
Twincest.
Oh no.
Which is
yeah,
totally
Yeah,
not
that.
happening on the
Which
podcast.
is just so canon, like, you don't even know.
You all know what's going on. We like to
It
ship
was-
the characters. Jupiter and Saturn is
Yeah.
quite funny.
It's also canon.
I'm so glad that went in
Jupiter is
the direction.
canon.
It's so canon. There's a part written for it in the 1812 overture.
Get it. Stop
Jupiter
eating.
is
Sorry, my
Jupiter
cat
is canon.
plastic. Oh,
No,
Okay,
man,
let's
sure.
not have a ship war on the podcast, please. I would
That's,
really,
next
really
week's episode,
appreciate
Western
that.
Battle.
I'm sorry, my
boy.
cat is plastic, so I accidentally yelled at him because he's trying to eat a trash bag.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Zoe on the podcast?
What? Yeah, Snowball is not on the podcast.
That was really mean. Oh my god, I heard that. Anyway. Oh, so we're done with Jupiter for this week, unless there's any questions in the chat, which I haven't been chatted.
No, there's no questions in the chat.
Okay,
No.
thanks, Link. Good job. Phew. 20 minutes to go, guys. Okay.
Shout out to the 5 viewers watching this live right now.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Yay, 5 people.
Wait.
Are we sure it's
There's-
not just
Wait.
us?
Yeah,
I'm fairly certain it's just us.
Yeah.
Poor guys.
Flower, is your grandmother listening?
Maybe.
Oh, Neto's here. Hi, Neko.
Shout out to my grandma. Okay.
Yeah, always shout out for Flower's grandma.
Always.
Right, so let's get on to the random chit chat at the end because there's nothing too big to talk about in globetrotting or telling you guys to recycle again. I think we have got past that for a little bit. I will remind you when it gets to Christmas, don't you worry. But I did have some requests to bring back the username origins segment, specifically because there were a few people that had not gotten the chance to explain their username origins. So
Because it only happened on one. It only happened on one podcast.
Yeah.
Did.
well, I mean, I got it doesn't matter. It's back. So I believe on the podcast today, the people who haven't explained their usernames are Charity and Pecan and Scrublord. Is that correct?
I don't remember, honestly. So
I don't think you were on it because I think it was Australian time. So
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I was
then,
on
yeah.
Australian.
Oh, okay. Was it
well,
sure? Then,
considering
yeah,
it was Pecan that prodded me like, hey, I want to talk about my username. Why didn't you go first?
I said once. I was like, if you can fit this in, that'd be great.
It's fixed in. Off you go.
Nice.
All
Yeah,
right,
you
let's
just
start the story off with a plot twist. I'm
dear.
I'm not actually Pecan.
Well, excuse me. Wow.
Dun, dun, dun.
What?
What?
I'm serious. I'm not actually Pecan. Here's the
Tom
thing.
was on the podcast.
So here's the thing. Pecan is the name of a character my cousin Blake made up. Pecan was this stuffed animal gerbil Blake got from the local drugstore. Not kidding.
Stuffed
And
animal
Pecan-
from the drugstore.
Thanks,
And
Walter.
Pecan was this super cool spy. He was the best spy at the agency he works at. Now, Pecan's personality was directly based off Blake's personality. So if anyone's Pecan, it's Blake, not me. Because it's
So that's why you got
literally
number 2.
him.
Okay.
So you just stole his Discord?
No, let me continue.
Okay.
No, he stole his gerbil.
No, I bought mine from the
His
same drugstore.
identity.
So,
Oh gosh.
Hello,
the
911.
name Pecan 2 is directly based off the YouTube channel I got called Pecan Productions, obviously. So the true story is how I chose the name for the YouTube channel, and there's a story there. So in between the summer of 5th and 6th grade, I invited some friends over to spend the night, and during that sleepover, we recorded some videos with my video camera. These videos all featured Pecan doing stuff. The one video I can remember was one where Pecan accidentally locks himself out of his house and needs to get him back in before it burns down because he left a pie in the oven. But if you remember, Pecan's a spy, so his house is absolutely ridiculous security system. So Pecan has a heck of a time trying to get back in.
I'm gonna have to look
Now,
this up now.
the next
I'm curious
day-
to see how these are.
Now, the next day, after they left, I watched the videos again and I was like, these are really funny. We should upload these on that YouTube channel I somehow made a while back. But then, what should the name be? Oh, how about I name it after Pecan because he was in all the videos we made. And so, I named the channel Pecan Productions. But there's one more thing. You see, the videos we made were super improv. So I thought I should invite them over again and we should redo these with a script. You know, more professional. So I then went and deleted the original videos right then and there, not even writing down what happened in the videos. I was absolutely stupid and technology inept as a kid. It was sad.
Oh.
And to top it all off, those friends I mentioned that made the videos with me, I kind of lost them as friends by the end of 6th grade, so they never came over again, and those original videos were lost forever.
Lost to be.
That's honestly really tragic.
And then a little bit later, I finally got out a Minecraft account, and I was like, I need a unique character. Well, how about Pecan? The end.
Well, don't worry, friends are overrated.
Wait, so you are Pecan though. You are Pecan.
I'm not, because Pecan's personality is literally my cousin Blake.
Right, but you're Pecan in that you've got the name now, right? Like,
You're Pecan in our
Yes.
hearts.
yeah.
Pecan 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No.
You were on that. You're like, no, immediately, like, no.
All right.
Beautiful. Charity, you seem like you want to go next.
All right. Yeah. So my username on Discord, I believe, is Charity Table. So I have a lot of usernames, but this one is Stop Eating the Plastic Cat. Sorry, my
Wow,
cat-
that's a pretty specific username.
That is really specific.
There's your
How
next
did you
Tumblr
go through
error
the
right there. Stop eating
So-
the plastic cat.
It's
My
the favorite
username has
superhero.
2 parts to it. One of them is the charity part, which is the simpler one. When I was first making Discord, I was dumb and didn't realize I was like actually making an account. So I put my name is in charity, like charity, like helping people. For whatever reason, I thought that was a good idea, and I never wanted to change the name after I realized I made an actual account. So it was an accident. And then the table part is a whole nother story. I don't
Do
know
tell.
where this idea originally came to me, but I decided that I wanted to start a furniture empire. And I became a table. Like, I was a table.
Wow.
I called myself a table, and I was specifically a like mahogany dining table. And
Fancy.
I incited a war against chairs. I hated chairs. I was super racist.
Wow.
You must defeat the IKEA Imperium.
You created an OC to defeat IKEA.
Yeah, so like the funny thing was, someone else on the team, who I won't name because I don't know if they want me to tell the story, but I asked them, like, I
Too
never
bad it's
told
happening
them,
anyways.
I never told anyone, like, that I hated chairs prior to asking them what furniture they were. So my best friend is like, oh, I'm a love seat. And I was like,
Die.
excuse me. And we had like a war going on
A war.
between like tables and chairs. And like it turned into like World War II Holocaust style of like you
Wow.
are imprisoning chairs, and like it was
Wait.
bad.
And
Um,
everything was peaceful.
I'd bring
No.
up the Jupiter Nazi thing.
Yeah.
Let's interrupt
But
that
let's not.
before it gets
Let's
too
not.
strange. To actually ask everyone that question. Now knowing that Charity likes chairs, dislikes chairs.
I
Sorry.
hate chairs.
Now knowing that Charity does not like chairs, this may be slightly biased, but let's. Oh, sorry, I burped. Let's go down the list and see. Well, we know Charity is a table, but let's see what kind of furniture everybody else thinks they are. Quickly.
Get specific.
Ooh.
I'm a mahogany dining table. You gotta be specific.
Pons, go.
What?
What kind of
Um,
furniture?
okay. Time to look around my room to see what kind of furniture I am.
10, 9,
Um,
8,
I am
7.
my closet door that I broke because I was angry one time.
Is that
I don't think that's a piece of furniture.
Shut up.
That counts.
No.
Rabbit,
I thought
go.
you meant something else. Ooh.
What kind of... Oh, I didn't hear you, sorry.
Cabinet.
What?
You said cabinet.
Cabinet. Good one. I would be like one of those really plush, fluffy footstools.
That's weird.
Link.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi like cut out on me
What
for a
kind of
moment.
furniture are you? Go.
Oh, I would be one of those like gaming chair things that reclines like really far back
But
because
can
they
you do
look.
this?
Yes, but can't I do that? And no,
You're
I
a
can't, but
chair.
still.
Charity hates you. Pecan, go.
Beanbag.
Pecan.
Beanbag. That's what
Oh,
I said.
sorry.
Oh, beanbag.
Oh,
Okay.
Ooh,
I-
a beanbag.
That's edgy.
Edgy.
You're a hipster.
What about one of those like
Contrary.
really big beanbags that you can fit like 6 people on? They're basically mattresses
Oh.
because
Sure.
those are great. Just
Yeah.
I
quick
think you mean my
random
house.
random story time. I was visiting one of the universities I wanted to go to the other day. Obviously, I live in the UK, and there was some American students there already, like before term started. Obviously, they'd flown over early, and they had bought Union Jack umbrellas, they had Union Jack jumpers on, and they had Union Jack massive beanbags, and they were just in the common room, covered in Union Jack
Traitors.
stuff, but with American beer, watching American TV. And I was like, what are you doing? What
This
are you
is
doing?
cultural appropriation.
It was quite funny to walk into. Anyway, Scrub, what kind of furniture are you? Go.
I would be either a sink faucet or my twin XL dorm bed or apartment. What is it?
Ooh. That's also edgy, I think. Being a tap. It's just kind of just out there, you
Wait,
know.
does that even count? Does it count as furniture? Another thing, like
I mean, yeah.
Well, if I'm
I
a door,
It counts as furniture if they sell it in IKEA. That's how it
they do
works.
sell it at IKEA.
I'm
Perfect.
pretty sure they
I
sell
believe.
Wait. So Swedish meatballs then fall under that category.
Yes.
Swedish meatballs. Damn it.
Wait, are you like a no-touch faucet that you get to like tap with your?
Oh no.
hand
There's
and it turns
definitely it's not one where there's like a hot and a. There's just one lever that you turn side to side. You know,
Oh.
to adjust the temperature. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like one you see in a shower.
So
Or
You.
so Scrub, we will continue with you because it's time for your username origin.
Right. Okay, so I guess it started. So back, I tried to consolidate everything under one username. So my old username actually from like, I don't know, like middle school that I used to use for like Minecraft and things like that was CFGT. It was just the letter CFGT. Since I decided let's do something that's easy to type, so it's just the letters CFGT. Like they make like they're a little pattern. You can use your left index finger and type it all on the keyboard, right? I'm like, okay, that's cool. Problem being, this is before I knew how to touch type, and so it turns out that using the same finger 4 times in a row really sucks. And also, when I got to high school, one of my friends, I'm like, oh, what's your Minecraft username? CFGT. And he's like, wait, I thought it stood for C. At the risk of going into the meme jar, he's like, I thought it stood for C faggot. And I was like, oh, boy. I was like, okay, so I guess this calls for a change in username. So, so I was like, okay, so what are we gonna do? And so, obviously, this is like 2014 at this point. Okay, well, scrub is a popular insult, right? And I get called it enough, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, scrub lord, right? I am like, as long as I'm scrub, I'll double down and become the greatest scrub. So became scrub lord. It turns out that scrub lord without the A though is taken in a lot of places because I guess some people got to it before me, and so that's why there's an A in scrub lord. That differentiates me. So still Scrub Lord, there's the A, just let it splits, and that's how it stuck. And so now I'm Scrub Lord.
Cool. That is.
Yes.
I like how you included your old usernames and weren't like Common Eye who hastily tried to bury that part of our lives. Seriously, if anybody ever finds Com's old Xbox name, that will be the day that the server ends.
Alright, everyone, we're going on a scavenger hunt.
Uh-oh.
I have a million usernames, so like they're like I don't have one handle. I have a different username on every like social media.
Lucky for me, I'm in creative, so I only have 3 times.
I had like 6 Roblox accounts because I kept forgetting the password. So I
Doesn't
just
have
enough.
6 Roblox accounts.
so I kept changing the number at the end of it. So that's why there's a blank because it's cringy 28, blank because it's cringy 29, blank because it's cringy 26.
Damn. So we have about 4 minutes left, so I will do a quick fire question. So I will give everybody a minute to think about it, and then we'll go down the line as quickly as possible. It's a question I have asked before, but now that all the character designs are out, what is your favourite character aesthetically? So I know not all of them have been put into the official style yet, but just aesthetically, so try not to think about the characters that you're playing or the character that you like the personality of, but aesthetically, what is your favourite character design so far?
So who is waifu or husbando, basically?
Basically.
Based purely on looks.
Based purely on looks. From the show,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay.
Sarah's doesn't count. I'll just put it out there. Characters that have been designed.
Look like.
Well, we'll go backwards then to give you time to look them up. Scrub, I'm going to give you 10 seconds.
Oh, no, I think I've got mine.
Okay.
So.
Let's go. Scrub.
All right. Pluto is the cutest. Or not Pluto. Luna-chan is the cutest. Pluto's up there, I guess. But I think in terms of it not being a lolicon, I like Venus a lot. She's cute.
Okay, Pecan.
Jupiter. I'm a sucker for long hair.
Okay, Link.
I'd have to give it to Earthshan, and then very close second would have to be Pluto, because look at that adorable Doot emote. Like,
Yeah.
Neko. Good job.
The Doot is cute.
Luna-chan, not Pluto. Wait, you made the same mistake I did right after.
It's freaking adorable.
My favourite character aesthetically is Mars, because, oh my gosh, if you haven't seen the hair that Deepad did on her already, go look at it. Also, I just like the feel that she has with the tool belt and the plasters and stuff. She's cool aesthetically. NASA's a close second though. Rabbit, go.
Sensei.
And Pons?
Jupiter, for obvious reasons.
And Charity?
It would have to be stuck between Pluto and Sensei for me. I like both their hair.
Cool.
Very
I like how
poofy.
the hair is actually quite like we're not thinking about other things. I do respect that.
Oh yeah, definitely hair. Mine is certainly the hair.
Quick toss, and it's not like from the anime that's also really good, is Amai Momo.
Amai Mono. Yes. Ooh, when will she return? Anyway.
We need that comic to come back at some point. Anyhow.
Thank you very much for joining me this week, all of you. As a quick reminder, this week we have been Charity, Pons, Rabbit, Flower, Link, Pecan and Scrub, with a very small interruption from Incognito. Thank you all for joining us. We have had quite a lot of fun. I hope you have also had fun too. Join us back in 2 weeks' time, back on Australian shores, back with hopefully some new characters and some more fun and games. Look out for Com's next update video if you have missed his voice, as we all have. And we'll see you around on the server. Thanks for coming. And remember, Earthshan's not flat.